Hi, I'm William with Apartment Renovation NYC, and I'm going to talk about the renovation process for owners in New York City. Apartment remodeling in New York City requires careful coordination between architectural design, building codes, condo co-op requirements, sometimes an LPC review, and Department of Buildings approvals. Typically, an apartment renovation experience is a first-time experience for most owners, whether they own an Upper West Side or Fifth Avenue pre-war apartment, Tribeca or Soho loft, Greenwich Village townhome, FIDI conversion, Upper East Side post-war apartment, or Gramercy Park apartment. The costliest renovation mistake: hiring a general contractor first. Some owners retain a general contractor, builder, or home improvement contractor before hiring an architect. What are the downsides? Inaccurate construction cost estimates happen frequently before an architect is involved, as true cost estimates are only provided after a builder reviews the drawings and specifications prepared by an architect. The idea of a builder estimating a job based on their experience alone is not good practice. Weak owner-builder contract occurs because an architect's role is an advisor to the owner, including suggesting agreement forms between an owner and a builder, as noted by the American Institute of Architects, the AIA. When an owner signs a contract with a builder prior retaining an architect, the owner can be left in an unfavorable agreement. Unregulated construction phase means that the responsibilities of the builder, architect, and owner during the construction phase are not clearly defined in the owner-builder contract, matters on which an architect shall advise the owner on. When the owner signs a contract with the builder without an architect's involvement, the signed contract may not provide a sufficient legal base for required construction administration. Unforeseen change orders are more likely to occur when an owner-builder contract is signed prior to the issuance of drawings for construction. This gives a builder an opportunity to set a favorable position for themselves, potentially at the owner's expense. Is design build allowed for apartment renovation in New York City? Design build is not allowed in New York State for residential projects. Surprisingly, many builders tend to advertise their services as design build and emphasize a one-stop shop. Some go as far as to claim that they have architects and engineers in-house when that is not the case. Design build is a project delivery method, a legal structure where one team comprising of an architect and a builder contracts with the owner in one contract. This falsely presented team organization creates a conflict of interest. An architect is an advisor to the owner about matters concerning a builder's performance. The idea of an architect and a builder operating as one legal team is not feasible. General contractor firms that advertise as design build for New York City renovation projects are either providing illegal service or misleading the public. An architect needs to contract with the owner directly, and a builder needs to contract with the owner directly. Builders are not qualified to advise on floor plan layout design. It is an architect who holds a license and is qualified to design floor plan layouts. Signing a contract with a builder related to floor plan layout changes prior to engaging with an architect is not advisable and in many cases illegal. Even if the scope of work only involves a one-wall addition, building code requirements are triggered. An architect shall advise the owner regarding layout feasibility. New York City renovation projects are demanding, and an architect is needed on a renovation project in New York City, and it is a better strategy to engage one during the early stages to avoid costly detours. To negotiate a contract with the builder confidently under the oversight of an architect, and ultimately to avoid delays during construction. Insights on New York City apartment renovation projects. We're going to discuss several typical considerations for renovation projects driven by the requirements of governing building codes, condo co-op alteration rules, and existing conditions limitations. Consideration 1. Structural system. The structural system of the building, whether wood or concrete, impacts renovation planning. Wood structures often require more on-site investigation to assess possible design changes, while concrete systems are generally easier to evaluate visually. Consideration 2. Window placement. Window placement is important for light and airflow, especially for habitable rooms such as bedrooms, living rooms, dining rooms, and studies. Occupiable spaces such as bathrooms and kitchens require mechanical ventilations if there is no adequate window available. Floor plan layout design for apartment renovations in New York City is heavily impacted by existing window locations and sizes. Consideration 3. Ventilation and HVAC. Existing ventilation and HVAC layout must be considered to ensure all new rooms have proper heating, cooling, and ventilation after any floor plan changes. Some condo co-op board rules do not allow changes to existing building HVAC systems, while others do. An architect shall study house rules for each building in New York City carefully to be able to inform owners of floor plan design possibilities. Consideration 4. Landmark buildings. A building may be a historic landmark or in a historic district. If the building falls into these categories, the work being performed must be brought up to the Landmarks Preservation Commission, LPC, and have the appropriate paperwork filed. A full LPC review would be required if changes are proposed to exterior facade, including replacement of windows. For interior renovations in New York City, most times an LPC certificate of no effect is needed, which our office typically obtains within approximately 1 week. Why renovating in New York City is unique. With so many pre-war and post-war buildings, the average New York City apartment in Manhattan is around 100 years old. If your building is older, be aware of the common surprises when completing an apartment renovation in New York City. Surprise 1. Asbestos. Asbestos is frequently found in old flooring, mastic, pipe insulation, and plaster. It requires sampling by a DEP certified asbestos investigator at all materials that are to be disturbed by proposed renovation scope of work. If testing produces positive results, an architect shall strategize whether asbestos can remain undisturbed or it shall be abated by a New York City licensed asbestos contractor based on the renovation design. Surprise 2. Insufficient electrical loads. Each apartment renovation in New York City with proposed new or replacement appliances or equipment requires a licensed electrician to provide an electrical load letter for architect's review. The electrical load letter would account for existing and new or replaced items and provide a summary on whether apartments' existing electrical load capacity can support the proposed design. From time to time, older New York City apartments cannot support modern appliances or air conditioning. An electrician may need to upgrade your panel and wiring as part of an apartment remodeling in New York City, which occurs most frequently with full gut New York City renovations. Surprise 3. Cloth wiring. Common in pre-war buildings, cloth insulated wires are outdated and unsafe. Full rewiring is typically required to meet code. Surprise 4. Outdated plumbing. Old galvanized pipes, commonly used in the past for building risers, often lead to leaks or poor water pressure. Replacement with copper is common upgrades during renovations, especially during a bathroom and kitchen renovation in New York City. Typically, all branch lines need to be replaced to the building risers with any work on plumbing fixtures unless replacement of fixtures past the wall finish towards interior space. Surprise 5. Lead paint. The presence of lead in paint is common in pre-1978 buildings. Surfaces must be tested and if found properly removed or encapsulated by certified professionals. This is becoming more frequent with Local Law 11, the Lead Abatement of 2023, which mandates testing of all dwelling units and common areas. Hiring an architect for your New York City renovation. An architect is your advisor throughout the apartment renovation process, guiding you from establishing your goals and budget through design and technical drawings to contractor selection and construction oversight. Our team helps manage the project every step of the way, ensuring quality and smooth permit closeout. Do I need an architect? Yes. If you live in a condo or co-op in New York City, your apartment renovation will need to comply with your building's alteration agreement and house rules. In addition to city permits, your plans typically require review and approval from the Buildings Board. Both the board's review and New York City Department of Buildings require signed and sealed drawings prepared by an architect. An architect guides you through this process, coordinating with both building management and city agencies to keep your project on track and compliant. it is wise to review condo co-op board rules early on in the design process. Alteration agreement breakdown. These documents outline what changes are allowed, as well as procedures for approvals, working hours, deliveries, and protecting shared spaces during construction. Alteration agreements vary by building, but typically include scope of work review. A building's architect or engineer must review the detailed plans prepared by your architect, highlighting the scope of work being performed, ensuring your renovation complies with building standards, and helping to streamline the approval process. This process may take anywhere from 3 weeks up to 3 months or longer, depending on the complexity of the renovation and board's review processing timeline. Some boards take longer than others. Our team provides timely responses to each round of the board's review. Insurance coverage requirements. Most buildings require contractors and subcontractors to carry insurance, often between $1 million and $2 million, though some demand up to $5 million in coverage. These requirements can limit your choice of contractors and are an important New York City renovation cost factor to plan for early. Our team advises owners during builders selection. Timelines of work performed. The New York City Department of Buildings and Department of Environmental Protection have strict construction noise rules, only allowing for work to be performed from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays and require special permission for work outside those hours. Building boards may also set additional rules to minimize disruption for residents, often restricting renovation hours between 9 a.m. and 4 or 5 p.m., while imposing additional limits on noise. Some buildings may only allow work during certain seasons, and alteration agreements can include strict deadlines with penalties for delays. Wet over dry rule. The wet over dry rule is a key consideration in New York City apartment renovations. It is an architect's responsibility to engage with the board and propose solutions to address any concerns. As a rule of thumb, wet over dry areas are accepted, but need to be designed adequately by an architect. Even in more complex scenarios, our team has designed wet over dry areas in the context of new powder room over electrical meter room, which required careful consideration for new powder room floor assembly. Legal ramifications and indemnification. Alteration agreements often impose strict timelines, financial penalties for delays beyond the estimated renovation completion date, and can shift construction liability to the owner. Retaining an architect experienced in construction administration and contractual matters is essential. A well-written contract between owner and contractor requires the owner to complete work within the agreed number of calendar days or working days, while protecting the owner by introducing a clause on liquidated damages, where the contractor is responsible for fees and delays. It is critical that an architect advises on form of agreement between owner and contractor, and most importantly, the owner should not sign a contract with a builder on their own and without an architect involved. Condo co-op boards typically require a construction schedule to be provided for board or management approval. Building condo or co-op board review. Your building will have its own architect conduct an alteration review of your renovation plans, primarily to protect the building from liability. The cost for this review is sometimes passed on to the owner, and in Manhattan or Brooklyn typically ranges from $1,000 to $2,000. This process can involve lengthy communication and potential delays, especially without an experienced design team. The key to a successful condo co-op board review process is that your New York City apartment renovation architect addresses the building alteration agreement requirements within the initial submission of the drawings for board's review. It normally takes a few rounds of reviews, normally till a renovation application is fully accepted. Once management completes their review, the board will consider your plans for final approval, which is required before you can start work. Our firm coordinates closely with management and the board to keep things moving. Budget and timeline for your New York City renovation. A well-planned budget and realistic timeline are essential to a smooth apartment renovation in New York City. Whether you're pursuing a full gut renovation or looking for a more affordable remodel in New York City, with variables like building approvals and board reviews, it's important to anticipate where additional time or costs may arise. We help establish a clear financial plan and schedule, guiding you through each phase and keeping your project aligned with your goals. Hiring the right general contractor. Selecting and interviewing your general contractor. It is critical that owners retain contractors only under an architect's supervision, meaning that an architect shall be engaged first and as per industry standards. Hiring a builder on your own is a recipe for various complications on your New York City apartment renovation. An architect shall review the contractor's bids and together with the owner award the bid to the selected contractor. Next, an architect shall advise on the appropriate form of agreement between owner and contractor for the benefit of the owner. On full gut renovation projects, the American Institute of Architects contracts are recommended. Why choose our team for your New York City renovation? Architectural services and expediting. We provide architectural and permitting services in-house, streamlining the process to save time and reduce costs. We ensure clear communication and maintain quality standards, while providing a quick turnaround for everything from a small apartment renovation in New York City to a more complex renovation. New York City Department Building Registered Special Inspection Agency. Our office is a New York City DOB Registered Special Inspection Agency. Almost every apartment renovation in New York City requires special inspections to close the project and obtain a letter of completion from the DOB. Efficient and personalized service. With an in-depth approach, our team guides your renovation project every step of the way. Visual and technical, building system design, coordination, and logistics. Our process is structured to keep your renovation on budget and on schedule from start to finish. Whether you're planning a kitchen remodel in New York City, a bathroom renovation in New York City, or a full apartment remodeling in New York City, we bring the expertise to make it seamless. Give us a call. We're an apartment renovation in New York City, and we offer complimentary initial consultations.